Well, Chris, we are finally here.
Yep. Ending the summer of comic book movies in the fall.
Well, we were busy. I had that pickle festival to go to, and I also had a really bad paper cut.
And I just didn't want to watch Fantastic Four.
Yep. Same. Well, okay, let's do this.
Wait, Dave, before you press play, we need...
Listen, I know where this is going.
Seriously, you've messed up before and rented the adult version of comic book movies. I don't want to go through that again.
I swear. I got the right one this time. The dirty version is called the Fantastic...
I don't know. I don't want to know that, and I don't want to know why you know that.
One time, I really thought I rented Flash Gordon.
Are you sure you got the right movie?
Yes.
Well then, Excelsior!
What does that mean?
Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out. Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out. Two middle-aged guys try to work it all out.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Two Middle-Aged Guys Trying to Work It All Out, the closing of the summer of comic book movies, and I am here with my good friend...
Dave.
Yes, it is Dave.
I was distracted.
Well, I mean,
by
how
the
could you not
falling
be?
leaves
Of
and
fall?
the foliage
Yes.
of the summer of comic book movies. The best time for foliage.
I'm wearing my sweater for the
Yes.
summer of comic book
I've
movies.
got a hot cup of tea. We got snuggling up with a blanket.
Yes, indeed. But we made it. We finally made it. And we were going at a really good steam when we started this adventure and when we saw Superman. And we had tickets to see the Fantastic Four, and it did not work out.
It did not work out. But we did. It's funny. We saw Superman opening weekend.
Yes.
And the Fantastic Four, we just kind of...
We got there.
We did. We finally did get there. Before we jump in...
Sure.
I think it's worth a mention. We've had a couple of really big passings since our last recording, and I just think it's worth a mention. Robert Redford and Diane Keaton, two huge stars.
Yeah.
And also, I would add to this, not as huge of a star, but also quite sad, and someone I liked, Jeff Fahey,
Yes.
passed away as well. So it's been a bad year.
It has. Redford was a giant, of course, and preceded in death by Paul Newman. And those two were inseparably connected through Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and also through The Sting, which is a phenomenal film. Love that movie. And was such a champion of film, like just in general. I mean, Redford started the Sundance Institute and did all these things to help the art form. So really was a giant. And then Diane Keaton, I mean, what can I say? I think Annie Hall is an absolute masterpiece, and I love her performance in that. And anytime Diane Keaton was on screen, I was excited to see what she was going to do. So, yeah, two giants. Jeff Fahey, known perhaps most for Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
Which was an interesting film.
Yeah.
But it's sad to see him.
Character actor,
well. Definitely a character actor.
Yeah, but a really good one.
Yeah,
right?
talented
You disappear.
guy.
Then that's kind of the problem with being a really good character actor is you disappear into your roles. But
or you disappear into virtual reality.
or maybe you do that. Then you have Pierce Brosnan has to take you down. You're very sad. And I mentioned this to you. I've never seen Annie Hall, so I'm going to have to watch that now to fully appreciate the breadth of talent of Diane Keaton.
I mean, it is a Woody Allen vehicle, right? And there is baggage there.
I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
That's the main reason I've avoided it.
I get it. But Annie Hall is a great, great film. Very intelligently done, very funny, just very quirky. Which is maybe not a great word that you want to hear when a movie's being described, because I think
it's not.
No, it's not. But Annie Hall is like it invented quirky, and then everybody else.
Zooey Deschanel just copied that.
There's a lot of truth to that statement.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Obviously, I've avoided Woody Allen movies because of the controversy of just how nerdy he looks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he's squeaky clean other than the fact that he looks like a dork.
It's those thick glasses, and people told him, but he wouldn't listen.
Yep. If only otherwise, he'd be a model citizen. No, it's awful. I mean, in this year also, I mean, the big passing, of course, was David Lynch, which warranted an emergency episode. I did see one thing I was going to ask you about. One of the articles said Robert Redford, the last movie star, has passed. I didn't agree with that statement because I do believe there is still one movie star, and that is Mr. Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
I do. I truly believe that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I would say there's two movie stars.
Okay, let me see if I can guess who the other one is. Well, I know it's not Ryan Reynolds. Are you going to say George Clooney?
I am.
Okay,
yeah.
But don't you have to be in movies to be a movie star? Because he doesn't do much.
What was the last thing Redford was in?
Well, Winter Soldier, and then that sailing one.
Oh, he was in Winter Soldier.
He was really good in Winter Soldier. I think he showed up in Endgame too, very briefly.
Okay, you win.
Yeah.
You win that one. All right. Sorry.
But Clooney doesn't do anything anymore but be George Clooney, which is kind of cool.
He's been at plenty galas and dinners and UN events.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't that count for something?
I watched one recently that he directed. It was an End of the World movie. It was an Apple exclusive. It was a pretty rough film, but he did direct it. Yeah, it was Into the World. He was on an Antarctic station. No, it wasn't. But okay. I mean, I see your point.
You're thinking about Ice Station Zebra.
I'm not thinking of it. It has Patrick McGowan. I know all about that movie. But no, I would say that Robert Redford represented the old school movie star, of which there are very few.
And even though I think that there are still movie stars out there, it's hard. Even Cruise, it's hard to put him at the level of Redford.
I think I'm gonna say that he is at the level of Redford. I think Tom Cruise, like Robert Redford, refuses to truly age, and just he's still
it's purely force of will.
That's right. He's just he slaps the E-meter on, makes sure that he's got his space spirits out of him or whatever, and Xenu's kept very far away, and
we're going to be on a list now.
I've lost all of our Scientologist listeners, and I've done the trade. We are big,
really, we're in Scientology. We were.
Yeah, we have.
Thanks, Dave.
Several lawsuits. Well, all right. So just a remembrance of the big passings for the year, and hopefully there's no more.
Yeah, indeed.
No more death this year
at all.
Yep.
For anybody, not
Let's
just
all agree
Hollywood stars.
Everybody
I
don't
think
die.
Surely, if there's anything that can bring the world together, it is the elimination of death.
Yes.
All right. If you can't laugh, you cry. Right.
That's very true. That's very true. All right. So. I guess we got to get into the actual topic here, don't we?
Do we?
So this is the fourth film version of the Fantastic Four.
There's irony there, I guess.
I guess your fourth one is another try. So and the first one was never officially released, the Roger Corman film, and then we've got the Fox 2000s one. We have the Fox aughts one, and then now we have this, which is an MCU movie, not set in the MCU. Which to me, this is the most baffling thing about it is they release a film, hype it, and they expect you to care when it's not connected in any way to the established universe.
Yeah, I'm glad that confused you as well, because I didn't get it. And in fact, I didn't even realize it from the trailer. Like, that was not apparent to me that this was... Like, I understood it took place in, like, a different time, but I thought it was just like the 60s. Like, I didn't realize
it was going to be like an Ant-Man, like...
Yeah, exactly.
People forgot about him or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And so I was like extra confused during the first 20 minutes of this movie. Just trying to figure out, wait a second, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So, it is a baffling choice. And I'd love to have a conversation with somebody to just ask them why.
Well, I knew it was in a different timeline, dimension, whatever, multiverse. I just thought that they would... Oh, I guess at this point we should probably say There are spoilers in this. It's on streaming.
Yeah,
Spoilers are
so-
fair game. I thought they'd wrap it up somehow, like
Yeah.
do some sort of integration, and they really didn't. I mean, I'm not giving them any credit for what.
I feel like they think they did.
But that does not count. They expected you to care about this. Like, my point of view is they wanted you to care about these characters like we care about Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And they did that by making the people in this world love these characters, right? And I bought that the people in the world love these characters. I was like, all right, I get it. But expecting me to care about them, that was a bridge too far. And I couldn't. I struggled with that. So I was really looking for those connections to the things that I actually cared about. And they just didn't appear. They never, didn't materialize.
No. And there's a lot of things I could say right now, but I feel like we should approach this in some semblance of order. Where we, I don't know, talk through the film chronologically.
I know,
yeah. Like I don't know what.
Can we start with the title, Fantastic Four: First Steps? That doesn't mean anything.
No.
I would have called it the Fantastic Four Fourth Try. But the First Steps, it means nothing.
Yeah.
That is a stupid subtitle. It's almost as dumb as James Gunn's original title, which was Superman Legacy. And he just wisely went with Superman. Yeah. Fantastic Four First Steps, totally meaningless.
No, it is. But again, I think that fed part of my confusion because I was like, "Oh, First Steps, is this going to be like the cinematic birth of the timeline of the MCU or something like I was trying to make it more than it was.
Sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but it didn't.
No, it did not.
So, were you surprised by the opening scene with Sue Storm on the toilet? Did that kind of throw you off? Because that's real. That's not a joke.
No,
folks.
The whole movie threw me off.
Okay, all right. But
it was not what I was expecting. And I'll tell you something that was maybe detrimental for me going into it is this movie got good reviews. I mean, like the number one headline was the Fantastic Four is ... fantastic, which is, not great writing, but I saw that everywhere, and so I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is going to close out our summer of comic book movies on a high note because we will have enjoyed Superman, we'll enjoy Fantastic Four, except that I didn't."
Well, first of all, we're in the middle of this. Yeah. But did you feel like the trailer showed a lot more of the film than you were expecting? Because I thought maybe like the stuff we saw in the trailer would be like, in that the first act sort of thing, which is what Superman did,
right? Yeah.
Which was good, right? But I felt like that after watching the movie, I was like, well, man, the trailer kind of told the story.
It was, and I apologize to the listeners because I'm going to just constantly be comparing this to Superman, and I feel like I have to because I mean these are the movies that were pitted against each other this summer.
The legacy characters of Marvel and DC head to head. Right. Within a month of each other.
So you had, and they almost perfectly are on opposite sides of the spectrum because you had the Superman trailer, which I was not a fan of, and I vocalized that on this podcast several times. But to me, that Superman trailer was just a cacophony of stuff. And it was like, and I made the comment that this looks like 4 movies, not 1 movie. And then you watch Superman, and it all works. It gels together really well. Fantastic Four, I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, got it. Coherent movie, trailer. I'm going to go in. This is going to be easy. And then I got a movie that does not make a lot of sense, does not have any real stakes or drama, and was just like a betrayal of its trailer in the sense that the trailer made me excited and then the movie didn't.
Well, I mean, the movie, to its credit, first of all, it looks fantastic. Matt Shakman is the director of this. Interestingly, Matt Shakman got his start in comedy like the Russo brothers did. So Matt Shakman was one of the original the directors from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, just like the Russos were very heavily involved in the early days of Community. So, it looks like $1 trillion. It is
probably
slick.
Because it cost $1 trillion.
Well, yeah, it probably, but it's slick. It's well done in like a technical sense. Maybe a little too clean, but given its retro future sort of setting, I thought it looked good. I thought that skipping the origin story and making that a little bit more in retrospect and using that ABC TV framing device at the beginning and the end of the film, I thought that was actually really smart. And I think that the problem is that when they showed the montage, they just didn't do anything interesting because the Fantastic Four are not inherently interesting characters. And leaning on them, when the most interesting character is Herbie the robot, and he's not that interesting.
No, he is not.
He's kind of like BB-88, where it's like, well, you feel like obligated to like him, but he's not that interesting.
No, he's no R2-D2. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
It doesn't make you like these characters. And I will state, to be fair, I'm not a fan of the Fantastic Four.
No.
Never cared for the comic book.
Nope.
Was never interested in Mr. Fantastic or Sue Storm or any of them. And even more to the point, I felt like this movie was so focused on Johnny Storm that nobody else got time. Like, it was really his movie.
It was his movie. But I will say, in terms of casting and performance, he was probably the best cast, and his performance was good. And I think that I did not have any issue with that. I think that the second to him, and maybe very close, maybe even equal, would be Sue Storm, who was also well cast and actually made her into a compelling character, which the previous movies did not do.
Okay, that surprises me. I did not think she was compelling at all.
Oh, see, I thought they did. I thought they gave her a purpose beyond her superpowers and beyond, just doing that pose where she's building an invisible force field that exists. She does that, but she had a purpose bigger than that.
I don't know. I kind of felt like they took her at the beginning from a multidimensional character and made her very one note because, spoiler, when you find out that Galactus is after the baby, then that's the only thing that she does is just sit and say, you're not going to take my baby. And I'm not criticizing the fact that that's how a mother would respond. I'm criticizing the fact that she doesn't, until the very, very, very end of the movie, she doesn't do anything other than just sit there and say, he's not going to take my baby.
Yeah.
And even she's got a moment in the film where you're supposed to like really rally around her, and it's supposed to turn, the expectations of the population of the planet. And it just completely fell flat for me. Like, I didn't get anything from it at all.
The moment you're speaking of is her speech, her attempts to rally everyone. That wasn't that great, but it was interesting that they. I did kind of like the idea that they got the whole planet to kind of go with their insane idea, which it was totally insane. It was like this is very stupid how they're going to defeat. I guess we should probably go back just a little bit and say, Galactus is coming, and they gotta find a way. They go to they know Galactus is coming because the Herald, Silver Surfer, Lady Silver Surfer. I don't
think that's what they call.
They did not know. Shah.
I don't remember.
But in that, you know what? That's fine. Actually, the decision to make this not mainline Silver Surfer, to make this not Norrinrad, was a good decision for multiple reasons. First of all, he would have been wasted in this film. But actually, the relationship between her and Sue and Johnny actually was one of the few things that kind of worked.
That's fair. That is a fair comment. And I, for as critical as I've been of the film, I liked Silver Surfer in this movie, and I liked Galactus in this movie. I thought that both of those elements were handled well. They were compelling. Now, the way Galactus goes out at the end was a little disappointing, but as a character, and especially as he appears on screen, very cool. And so I was involved with that part of it. And I do agree that the connection between Surfer, Storm, and Storm.
Yep.
That's a legal team right there.
It is.
But that connection was probably the best part of the movie and the most compelling, and the part that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Because you've got Sue doing the whole baby thing through the whole movie, and then finally you make that connection at the end with Silver Surfer's history. And okay, like that made sense. That clicked for me. I found Johnny Storm to be annoying and like a poor Guy Gardner substitute.
Really?
Like, yeah, like he kind of seemed like they were trying to get that same attitude from him.
I did not pick up on
didn't
that.
get that?
I just picked up on it as a little bit more sensitive and less womanizing version of the Johnny Storm that we got in Chris Evans' performance.
Okay, so sure, if you want to look at it that way, but the reason I'm saying the Guy Gardner thing is they made such a big deal immediately about, oh, he's got a thing for Silver Surfer, and oh, you like naked aliens, like that.
I
that
know
whole
I like
thing.
space. I like ladies. That was in Space
Right.
Ladies. Right?
Yeah.
That was his line.
And so when that's how you lead off
Sure.
the relationship, like to me that was just like, I approached that as they're building this character to be kind of this male chauvinist stereotype. And I don't think that's what they were trying to do, but for not trying to do it, I think they did a good job, at least for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought they did okay, but it's kind of a low bar.
That's true.
Inside this film. So the Galactus coming, they go to meet Galactus because they have faster than light travel, which actually was super surprising to me. And it's like, so they have FTL and they haven't used it in a while or something. That was a plot point. Like Johnny really wanted to go back into space, and like, I promise we'll go back into space. And I'm like, what? And then you have FTL. And I thought that them going into space was more like in the comics where they just went out to like near the moon or something or whatever. But so they go and meet Galactus. Silver Surfer's there. They, Reed Richards shows his tactical genius by saying things like, Johnny, flame that, and Ben, punch that, and put a force field around. Really tactical genius level stuff.
Yeah. I didn't understand what was going on. It was that advanced. So let's pause for a moment. Let's talk about Pedro Pascal.
Okay.
You've made your opinions known. And I like Mr. Pascal. I'm still excited to see him in things. I have no problem. I don't know what he was doing in this movie. Like,
he was...
The character was pointless. His performance as the character was pointless. And that's not critical of Pedro Pascal. I think he performed it the way it was on the page.
He was miscast, I believe.
I think he was miswritten.
I think he was miswritten. I do agree, but he was miscast. Because
I think he has the potential to be a compelling Reed Richards.
I think he's just, first of all, he's got this nice guy thing going, and Reed Richards is not a nice guy. So from the comic books, Reed Richards is much closer to the worst parts of like Doctor Strange and Tony Stark in terms of his arrogance, in terms of his his belief that his way is the right way. In the Civil War series, I mean, he was in the comic books, not in the movie, because he obviously wasn't in the movie, but he was imprisoning people in like alternate dimensions that were disagreeing with him, other heroes. So he's, Reed Richards is not someone to be loved or liked, right? He's more to be respected. And they instead played him like the bumbling, I'm going to be a dad. What do I do? I put together 3 cribs. Why did I do that? Oh.
Yes, your characterization of him is accurate. And I will confess my ignorance. I did not know that about Reed Richards.
Yes, he is a jerk.
I am not that versed in Fantastic Four because, like I said, they never interested me as characters. So I did not know that. Okay, I will rescind my earlier statement, and I'll agree. Pedro Pascal was miscast.
I just think
they should have cast Robert Downey Jr.
Well, he's in
just let him play everything.
That would be a great deep fake with Robert Downey Jr. playing all 4 members of the Fantastic Four. I think that was a casting failure. Look, Pedro Pascal is fine. He's overexposed, which and he really, I think he's got this nice guy thing going on. Even in Wonder Woman 84, as Maxwell Lord, he was totally ineffective as a villain because he wasn't really a villain. He was kind of a down on his luck. He certainly wasn't Maxwell Lord, if you know your DC Comics. But I don't know. There was a problem there. The Thing was fine. The CGI was great. Yeah. The voice was great. The Ben Grimm in human form was totally believable as Ben Grimm turning into the Thing. So although you saw very, very little of that.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that from a casting point of view, I don't. To me, so the movie goes on. The Herald comes back, and they got this plan because they've built teleportation, which. They've just cracked teleportation.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, they have faster than light travel, and they just cracked teleportation, which
and can only teleport an egg.
They're right. That's where they're going to start. So they're going to teleport the Earth somewhere that's really far from Galactus, so that he'll get distracted and go on.
That is the plan.
That is the plan, and
the entire population of the world is like, sure, that sounds
we'll
good.
go along with you. Yeah, we'll conserve energy and global blackouts. I did think it was cool that they found a way to get the world to back the Fantastic Four. I thought that was neat. I thought all the trappings around it were stupid, but it was like, okay, that's a cool idea, right? To show how much trust they have in these characters, and that obviously, with Franklin Richards born, and the world is at first very upset that they wouldn't sacrifice their son because Galactus wants Franklin Richards. The movie just suffers from a lack of compelling characters.
Yeah.
Their villain montage was so stupid because, let's face it, the rogues gallery of the Fantastic Four has only got 2 stars, and they're really Marvel villains, not Fantastic Four villains, and that's Galactus, who we do get to see, and Doctor Doom.
Yep.
Which, there is a Latveria reference in the film.
Yeah.
But when Victor Doom is not part of the origin story, which to me is just a total failure. It's such a change that.
Well, it reeks of politics. Because it was like, no, we can't blow Doctor Doom's reveal in this Fantastic Four movie. We've got to have that for Avengers.
Yeah.
That's how it read to me.
Yeah. But if you're going to separate them, then I would almost say, why give the Fantastic Four their own movie?
Completely agree.
Because this is not a compelling property.
No.
And I was hoping they would do something that made it good, but I just did not care at all. I couldn't make myself care.
No, and even though I thought Galactus was cool on screen, I mean, the look was spot on. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He eventually shows up in like Godzilla's New York, and then Sue Storm shoves him.
Yeah. Well, she has some help.
She does.
Which is interestingly enough in the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, the Silver Surfer also turns on Galactus at the last moment.
Now that's Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne is Norrin Rad, who I like to call Norrin Radical because he's awesome. I don't really care, but that was a repeated beat from a previous Fantastic Four movie, and it wasn't the only one. And I was like, that's it. That's the big.
Yeah.
That's the big twist at the end is they get the Silver Surfer to turn on Galactus. That same thing they did in 2007 when Rise of the Silver Surfer came. I was like, no, that can't be how they resolved this. But it was.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't make myself care. But, and I ask you this question, and I'll ask it now for the listener. Did this make you want to revisit any of the old Fantastic Four movies at all, for comparison's sake, curiosity, to refresh yourself?
Let me think about that. No.
Okay. So it did me.
Okay.
And I watched all of Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer because I felt a familiarity and I wanted to see, was that real or... And there are repeated beats.
Really?
Like, for example... Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer is trying to redesign their costumes, and Reed is opposed to that. That is a part of the new Fantastic Four movie. Silver Surfer takes out Galactus, making the whole family... the big impetus of the Rise of the Silver Surfer was Sue and Reed Richards trying to get married. And this one was them trying to protect their son. I mean, it was just so internalized... that it wasn't... I don't know. It made the stakes smaller, So I did. I rewatched that entire film, and what I realized is that film is not better than this movie, but it was more fun than this movie. And oh yes, another repeated beat is a Johnny Storm Silver Surfer chase through around the world, then into the atmosphere, where the where Johnny Storm burns out because there's no oxygen in the atmosphere. That's exactly. I mean, those are repeated beats. The chase is actually better in the Rise of the Silver Surfer, the old movie. It was a much more fun chase, and I was like, okay, wow. I would have thought they would have come up with something different or better, but repeated beats, and so I did watch little bits of the first Fox Fantastic Four movie, which isn't a great movie, and then I attempted to watch the one that Josh Trank, the 2016 one, and I kept falling asleep. I could not. I had watched an hour, and they still had not shown the Thing.
Oh, wow.
It's an hour and 40 minutes long. I mean, that's how bad that movie. I mean, that movie is a disaster. So this certainly surpassed this. But it made me interested to see, okay, what am I comparing it to? And I recognized that those old Fox movies were more fun. Not better, but more fun, and that counts for something.
I agree. That does count for something. I did not have any desire to go back and rewatch it. I still don't have any desire to go back and rewatch them. I'm not surprised that I didn't like the movie. And I've not made it a secret that I'm super burnt out on Marvel.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there's anything they could do to bring me back for a while, right? Like, I just need a break. And Disney doesn't realize that breaks are things that people can have, and they're good things. So I'm not surprised I didn't like the movie, but I am surprised that it was well received. I'm trying to imagine even like a diehard Fantastic Four person. I don't understand how they'd be satisfied with this movie.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, first of all, if you're a diehard Fantastic Four person, you might be in your 70s. Because they have not been relevant
That's true.
in a long time. But no, I don't know how you could be happy with this. Because it's not true to the Fantastic Four, particularly in the case of Reed Richards. Not that the other... Listen, the Fox movies got him wrong too, right? He was a nice guy. He wasn't arrogant. I mean, in the 2016 version got him really wrong. They portrayed him as like a high school... Somebody just got out of high school, right? I mean, really, really bad. But yeah, I don't know who could... I don't know who's happy with this. And I mean, I guess if your goal was just to introduce them, then, maybe have done... I don't know. There's got to have been a better way. Who would you? I'm just out of curiosity. If we didn't go with Pedro Pascal, do you have any idea who you would go with? And we'll set John Krasinski aside because he was in the Doctor Strange movie, and I also don't think he could play the jerk Reed Richards as well because Krasinski has made the nice guy part of his image as well. So
I don't know. And I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer this question because I don't know Reed Richards as a comic book character either. So my one and only criteria would be salt and pepper hair. Like, that's the only, as long as you've got salt and pepper hair, you're in, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, in a mustache. It was famously Mr. Fantastic. Yes. We know. Actually, I had an idea who I would have cast, and then I looked it up, and it turns out they were actually a finalist, like one of the three that's considered, and that's Glenn Howerton III, who is in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And he actually plays a kind of a sociopathic character, and he can be, he's a good actor, he has range, but he would have been able to bring the edge to Mr. Fantastic that was totally lacking by what Pedro did. But I thought about that. But did you love the Mole Man? Did you not just fall in love with Mole Man the moment he came on screen?
No, I wasn't a big fan of Mole Man. I'll tell you my favorite part of this movie. And this is, I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to stir controversy. My favorite part of this movie was the minute and a half of Natasha Lyonne in the role as the girl who fell in love with the Thing. Like,
oh, okay, yes.
That was my favorite part of this movie. I thought she was phenomenal in her role.
Yeah. My favorite part of the movie actually was when they Sue manages to recruit Mole Man to help them. No, really, because to help them protect the Earth from Galactus, because it showed two things. Number one, Mole Man trusted Sue. So it showed that Sue Storm was more than just the invisible lady with force fields, which is so it showed a little depth to her character.
Yeah.
And two, Mole Man hated Reed Richards, and Reed Richards hated Mole Man. And it was the only moment where Reed actually got close to being kind of a jerk, and it was effective. Now the rest of the Mole Man stuff, where he's down in the underworld, which makes no sense at all, was just kind of silly. But that was actually kind of a neat moment because it used it furthered the plot, but it also developed the characters. Two things that didn't happen very often in the movie, but they managed to do them in one stroke. So I was kind of happy with that. I do like Hauser, Paul Hauser, who plays Mole Man. I think he's a very funny guy. So I was just happy to see him, get a little bit more attention, but this is not a role. We're never going to see Mole Man again.
They're not doing the Mole Man spinoff movie?
We are never seeing Mole Man again.
Well, that's too bad. I don't know that I have much else to say about this until we get to the post-credit sequence. Is there anything you want to fill in the middle there?
I would just say that this should be a lesson to Marvel that people are not going to care about your movie unless it's in the mainline MCU, your movie, your TV show, because that's what people love, is the connection to those original characters in some way, and they're trying to forge connections to the newer characters, which is really difficult to do, but taking them outside that, Marvel, I hope you got the lesson, it does not work. And Fantastic Four made less money than Superman, and Superman didn't even make as much money as it should have.
Yeah.
So not only was it, beaten, I think critically, because I think Superman was outstanding, but it was also beaten financially, which, Marvel's got a track record of doing well, right? They should have had a better shot at this, and they didn't. So that would be the only thing I would take away before we get into the post-credit sequences.
Yeah, so let's dive into the post-credit sequence, because I'm going to start off by asking a question, and I legitimately do not know the answer to this. I'm curious what your take is, because you've said multiple times during this episode that it's not connected to the mainline MCU. Isn't the post-credit sequence their effort to connect it to the MCU?
Sort of, kind of, but it doesn't do it in a way, because in the post-credit sequence, spoilers, it introduces Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom has not showed up into the broader MCU. So while I can see that as an attempt, I don't know if your general audience is going to it's that, and that's going to bring this in. It didn't have Charles Xavier wheeling in Wolverine and Deadpool next to him saying, we've got to bring you to our world. And that's my Patrick Stewart impression. It sounds a little bit more like Crocodile Dundee, like Paul Hogan. That's not a knife.
That famous scene in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes.
That's not a knife.
That's not a knife. But no, there was, so yes, it really was. It was Doctor Doom holding little baby Franklin Richards. So while that was an attempt, it kind of rang hollow because Doctor Doom hasn't been shown.
Okay, so here's where I would maybe defend Disney, which I don't want to do. I think at this point, the whole Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr. thing, I think it's grown out of the narrative. Like it is its own like meta thing happening in the world, and I think that's how Disney views it. So I think the fact that they've made this huge deal that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, they think that's enough. Now, I'm not defending it that it is enough, but I think they think it's enough.
But that
worries me.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think I would have found something else, because at the end of, spoilers, at the end of Thunderbolts, they have a ship coming into our universe that is a Fantastic Four ship, right? Yes. So I thought that they might find some way to tie that in. The fact that was just kind of like a hanging chad left there makes absolutely no, because this is where you capitalize on that.
So that was another reason why I was so confused about where this darn movie takes place, because of that.
You thought maybe
post-credit sequence in Thunderbolts. I thought that was the indication that, oh, there's some time travel thing going on here.
Yes.
Like I thought this is mainline MCU just, 50, 60 years ago or whatever the math works out to be.
Yeah.
So I like the whole way that it is part of the MCU and not part of the MCU confuses the heck out of me. And maybe it's one of those things where I just need to be like, okay, there is no sense because they've already established the multiverse, so they can do anything that they want.
Sure.
And they can say, oh, well, this was Earth 265 and, whatever. That was my George Lucas.
Yes.
Okay.
David Lynch would say, that's Earth 265.
Excellent. So I mean, in a sense, we're arguing about something that's kind of a dumb thing to argue about.
It is, but it was, listen, it was a weak effort.
Yes, it was. I agree.
But I actually see your point. I think that they see it as an effort, but it was pretty darn weak. Plus, they also, Latveria is mentioned in the Fantastic Four film, so Doctor Doom's home country exists in their universe, and then presumably this is a Doctor Doom from another universe. Otherwise, they'd know about him,
right?
Because they are in comic book lore. They're inextricably connected. I'm not sure I used that word. I mean, I know what the word inextricably. They're connected in a way that they cannot be disconnected.
Yes.
So a little bit confusing, even with the multiverse business going on. So I don't know. I mean, and the mask looked cool. You don't get to see him, but you kind of you get like an angle at the mask that he's holding, and it looks like it looks like Doctor Doom. Sure. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I just didn't particularly like this film.
No, I didn't either. And you used the word weak, and I think that's the perfect way to summarize this movie. It was a weak effort, and I'm shocked that Disney was rewarded at all for this. And you talked about the box office figures and all that, and I agree it's not been their strongest showing, but they're taking a victory lap. I mean, they're like, this was great, and this is everything we wanted it to be, and all the critics are saying, oh, the movie was fantastic.
They're gaslighting, and I'm using the term appropriately. Disney's gaslighting us with that. Listen, it is not like the worst movie ever made. That would be the 2016 Fantastic Four. But it was not good.
Yeah. And
it does not represent a turnaround for Marvel. I thought Thunderbolts was absolutely head and shoulders better than this movie and far more compelling and interesting. And I know you don't agree with that, but I actually cared about the characters in Thunderbolts. And I felt like the stakes were kind of appropriately set, that as opposed to this. I don't know. I thought it was a better movie, and you know what? And I also like the actors better. So
I'll give you that one. I did like the cast of Thunderbolts better. I enjoyed the movies about the same, but I was less disappointed with Thunderbolts because I was not expecting so much going in.
That's true.
So I guess I'll give it to Thunderbolts as the better movie.
Well, it probably also cost a fraction.
Yes, I'm sure.
I mean, you know what I heard? I don't know if this is true, but Pedro Pascal accidentally shaved his mustache. They had to digitally put the mustache back on. He did a reverse Henry Cavill.
That's and Henry probably put him up to that. He's like, hey, you know what would be funny?
It would be funny. You show up with no mustache. This is where we are, right? And this might all pay off in Doom and Secret Wars or whatever the next phase with the Avengers, whatever they ultimately call that, Doomsday and all that. I don't know if it will. I think Marvel's got a really big problem in their hands. And I think obviously rebooting is what they're going for. And they're going to, squeeze the last bit of life out of this iteration of the MCU with what's coming up. But this does not bode well. And you're right. The whole taking a victory lap on this, that is just that. I guess they have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just listen. Gunn is taking a victory lap on Superman, which I believe critically he's absolutely right. And I think it's a fantastic film. Financially, though, I'm pretty sure the movie eked out a profit.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was not the finance. They needed it to be $1 billion movie, and it got to a little bit more than half that. So I think that both WB and Disney are in denial over the state of comic book movies and how successful they can be, and there's going to have to be some real course correction.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see if they have the appetite to do it, because I don't think they do.
So will you, for Doomsday, will you go see that in the theaters?
Not planning on it.
Okay, so I mean, I will.
If you invite me and we do like a family thing, I'll go. But I will not go because I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll go like 3 months into its run. And that movie will make $1 billion.
Yeah.
One reason alone, right?
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, that they should have kept Tony Stark alive somehow, and just maybe he got snapped and he disappeared, but the world was safe. Something.
Yeah.
If they would have found a way to keep him alive so they could bring him back to resuscitate the MCU at the moment when they needed it most, instead of having to cast him as another character. I think that they...
I wonder how much of that was Downey Jr.
Oh, I guarantee. Oh, Disney would have piled the money trucks and dropped all the cash right off in his driveway. I'm sure it was him, but but he's back now.
Which,
so,
I don't get.
Kind of weird.
I guess the money truck paid off after all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess... I know Dr. Dolittle was a huge hit for him.
Yes.
I'm joking, because he was in Oppenheimer. He was fantastic. He's an incredible actor. He has great range, and he can do whatever he wants. But for some reason, he was attracted to come back to the MCU.
Yeah.
So
it'd be interesting to get his opinion on that, and I'll make the invitation now. Robert Downey Jr., you're welcome to come on the show.
Come on the show
anytime.
Yep.
It's
Pedro Pascal, come on.
Sure.
I would love. I mean, maybe you can explain to me why you will only play nice guys.
And it's a friendly podcast. You would be treated with respect. But come, tell us why.
No, I don't know. No, of course I would treat. I have nothing against Pedro Pascal. I just don't want to see him in everything, that I turn on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I think The Mandalorian, he's fantastic because he plays a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
Right, and that's sort of his wheelhouse. Also, it's his voice. I mean, it's the world. He's got the world's easiest acting gig.
Yeah. But anyway, so what did you think of Fantastic Four, listeners? Are we crazy? Did you like the movie? Did we miss something? I have this recurring fantasy in my head whenever we see big movies like this and we talk about them, that like we clicked on the wrong thing on Disney Plus or whatever, like they loaded the wrong movie into the server or something.
Well, I mean, we were very clear that I did not rent the adult version of Fantastic Four.
That's true. It was not the adult version, but that doesn't mean it was the right version, Dave. So I don't know. I feel like I missed something, but then again, I know that I didn't because I watched the movie and it was not great.
Marvel, do better. Do better.
It's good advice.
That's it. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, maybe Chris, we should tell them where to find us.
Sure.
Go to www.fantastic. Oh wait, sorry. The 2 middle-aged guys. The numeral 2 middleagedguys.com. We're also on Facebook. Just search for 2 middle-aged guys, and you'll find our page. We post all of our new content there. You can hear our other opinions. Obviously, we gushed about Superman. Go listen to that episode if you haven't listened to it, because then you'll get to hear us be positive about something.
Yeah.
And I've given my opinions on a few things recently. We'll be back with more death updates next week. As the world refuses to obey our commands to not die, and
it's a reasonable request.
Yeah, maybe we'll get like a new cut of the Fantastic. Maybe Shackman. I call him the Shackman. We're close, so he allows that.
Good, yeah.
We'll send us like, hey, listen, this is the cut that. This is the one that was supposed to go out, and it's pretty different. And we cast my buddy Glenn Howerton as Mr. Fantastic, and and hey, one thing we didn't mention this. If you've not heard Norm Macdonald's bit on Mr. Fantastic, go look it up. He does a hilarious bit on Mr. Fantastic and why he's not really appropriately named. He's not that fantastic, and go check it out. It's very funny.
All right. Well, you guys go do that and then send us an email. Let us know what you thought of the movie.
Yep. Email, a message on Facebook, smoke signals, carrier pigeon, whatever. Have the Herald come visit us and threaten to destroy our podcast if we don't give this movie a better shake.
But at the end, she's just going to side with us.
Right. Yes. Let's repeat that beat another time.
All right, people. Have a good one.